Hello, my name is Dr. Jim Houck, and I want to welcome you to the first in a series of Reclaiming Authenticity. This is the phrase in which has made a profound impact in my life, and it is my prayer that it has the same profound effect in yours. Well, I get asked a lot, what is exactly reclaiming authenticity? What does it mean to reclaim our authentic selves, those parts of ourselves in which perhaps we have hidden away from others, or that we guard or we protect our wounded parts, our emotional woundedness, or where we've been hurt before, that we just become so guarded whenever we get around others, or say there's that one special person in our life that wants to get very close to us. And on one hand, we desire that emotional intimacy, that sexual intimacy, the physical intimacy, even spiritual intimacy. And yet the very thing that we crave is often the thing in which frightens us the most. However, what I've found and what I want to share with you today is how I've been able to work through some of my own woundedness and reclaim those authentic parts of myself. And it all begins with a story, of course. I was sitting in a doctor's office one day, just, waiting for my turn, waiting to be called. And just looking around the waiting room, as most of us do, and, looking at the pictures and other portraits and so forth. Well, in this one doctor's office I was in, there was this quote from Virginia Satir. She was a psychiatrist, psychotherapist, a marriage and family therapist who lived early to mid 1900s. And she had a unique way of dealing with relationships, or dealing with people in relationships. In fact, she is the one who really pushed people to become their authentic selves. And as I said, I was looking around this doctor's office waiting room, and there was her famous quote. It goes like this: "I want to love you without clutching. I want to appreciate you without judging. I want to join you without invading. I want to invite you without demanding. I want to leave you without guilt. I want to criticize you without blaming, and help you without insulting. And if I can have these very same things from you, then we can truly meet one another." Well, I remember reading that quote from her, several times, and it was really starting to sink in. But yet, I remember thinking to myself, under my breath, "You're right. This is just too lofty. This is just too grandiose. This is just too much to ask from people, especially, let alone ourselves. That we have to get to a place of being so authentic that we do not fear somebody judging us, or, somebody laying guilt upon ourselves, and so forth. I mean, we're very good at doing that to ourselves, let alone somebody else. But yet, this is how she would describe her life and how she interacted with her patients and families. She expected authenticity. She expected this genuineness to flow out from her in each and every relationship, whether or not it was received from others. It was her life intention to be as authentic as she could be in each and every relationship, and held people to the same standard, not as a way of guilting them into revealing who they are, but to share those most vulnerable places in our lives that have been wounded, but have also been healed. And that's the very irony that I began to see the more I sat and I meditated upon these words of Virginia Satir. I began to see that, on one hand, where we experience our woundedness, whether it's emotional, sexual, physical, even spiritual abuses, often occur in the context of relationships. We open ourselves up, we're loving, we're trusting, and another person comes along and for one reason or another either doesn't meet our expectations because we've placed them too high, or they've wounded us and now we live with broken promises and broken dreams and broken hearts and just all the shattered assumptions of the goodness in the world and the goodness of God. And we're left with these pieces, wondering, will they ever go back together again? How can I ever be made whole? Well, on one hand, we bring that sense of woundedness to each and every relationship, current relationship that we are in. And yet, ironically, it is within the context of relationships where we find our healing. We find the things that our hearts have been crying out for. We find that, yes, that we can truly meet one another and enrich one another. We can find those things such as love. We can find those things such as gratitude. We can find those things such as peace. You can find those things such as authenticity. And even more important, we not only find those things, but we become love. We become grace. We become mercy. We become peace. Another experience that I remember just listening to many lectures in my day, and I have to confess I don't remember them all, but the one that really stayed with me was just a simple quote. It was just a simple Franciscan perspective, and it again went like this: that if you ever find yourself in a situation with people, of course, always, always, always look for the grace. Look for the love, look for the peace, look for the mercy, look for the patience, and so forth. But if you can't find the grace and mercy and peace and patience in the moment, then you become the grace, the mercy, the love, the peace, the patience, the gratitude, etc. Again, the more I sat with that, the more I began to see just the powerful effect that that has in relationships, where we are often guarded, and even our body language at times just, we cross our arms and like nobody's getting in our hearts. Well, we don't realize until it's too late that perhaps when we don't allow anybody into our hearts, we also don't allow to share our hearts as well. Those good things that we have come into this world with. Those gifts, those graces that are not meant for ourselves, but they are meant for one another. And so if we cannot find the grace in the moment, or the peace in the moment, or in any situation, then we become the grace and the peace. Again, initially, a knee-jerk reaction would be, that's too much to ask of me. That's just simply too lofty to attain. But it is attainable. We can become the peace. We can become the joy. We can become love. We can become gratitude. Because when we are all these things, and especially with gratitude, this is what truly opens up our hearts, and we can really be our authentic selves. Well, it has always been my prayer, and it is my prayer for you here today, that you would find the courage to be able to look within and reclaim that which has always been in you. If you have any further questions or comments, please leave them below at the bottom of this video in the comments section. Or if you have any further questions or want to check out my website, please feel free to do so. Just go ahead and click on www.reclaimingauthenticity.com. That's all one word, reclaimingauthenticity.com. Well, thank you very much, and I look forward to sharing more of these videos with you. Take care, and God bless you.